Hello everybody, hope you're all doing well. My name is Steven and this is the Storytime channel. Just a quick reminder that we have a giveaway going on this week, so if you're interested and don't know how to enter, stay tuned until later in the video and I'll tell you exactly how to. But let's go ahead and jump right into our first malicious compliance story by N1K1B1K1E. The guy wanted that Go Kart. This happened about 3 years ago. I worked at an underground go-karting area. I worked as a controller, so I sold tickets and controlled the races, meaning I stopped and started races. It was one of the busiest Saturday nights. I'm rushing around with tickets and controlling races. My marshals are running around and trying to make sure the races run smoothly. This one family comes in and bought 2 tickets, the father and son wanting to race each other. When it came to their turn, the father says he wanted that kart and pointed at the one in the island. The kart in the island is black with some nice fire patterns on it. It really did look awesome, but here's the catch. It's just a prop with no engine. I told the father this, but he insisted on that kart. I thought maybe he was a little hard of hearing or it was too noisy for him, so I repeated myself. He called me a liar and called the marshal a liar. We went back and forth with this for about 10 minutes. The marshal pulled me aside and whispered into my ears, and the more he spoke, the more I smiled. We went back to the father and agreed on giving him the kart. We asked if he wanted his wife to video record the race, and he agreed readily. I told them the basic rules and also told them that I will only stop the race if there is a real emergency. Just before the race started, my boss walked into the control room and I explained everything to him. He smiled and took a chair out for himself to watch the show. The lights turn green, the wife starts recording, the sun is off, and the father was still where he is. He went off at us and telling us that we have cost him the race, etc, etc. We get him into another kart, but by then his son has done 2 laps. After the race, the father demanded that he speaks to my manager, and to his luck, my boss is standing next to him. My boss's words, "You got what you asked for, so I suggest you leave or we call security." The father leaves and his wife had tears in her eyes from laughter. The son apparently won $100. Remember, this happened in front of 200 plus customers. If you were operating this and you knew that card was just a prop, would you have given it to him anyways if he kept insisting like this? Basically, do you agree with what OP did? Let me know in the comments down below. Our next story is by Am I Outside? Tried saving a guy $500 at an amusement park. He didn't want to listen. I worked at an amusement park as a ticket supervisor. This was the time of the year where they would have certain events. It was one of the biggest attractions all year, so let's call it Big Cheap Attraction X. So one of the ways to bring in more revenue was to charge $5 to get into this attraction. Subsequently, if you purchase this ticket for $5, you can buy additional attraction tickets, one of our many other attractions, for an additional $5 per attraction. Normally, the other attraction tickets were $20 each. If you wanted to go to one of the other attractions, it would be cheaper to buy the ticket for $5 for attraction X, and then do an add-on for an extra $5 to go to any of the other attractions. Okay, so I've laid out the groundwork. This is where the malicious compliance comes into play. I was a supervisor of the cashier's department. We were pretty busy, so I decided to take up a bank and a computer to sell tickets. I come from a very frugal family, so I always try to help people get the better deal, and I always tell my employees to tell the other guests about the better deal. Our main goal was to have people have a good time so they would want to come back. This guy comes up to me. He and his family want to go to a completely different attraction. He has about 20 people in his party, so I already knew the price was going to rack up. I pulled up the price of exactly what he asked. It was around $700. I said, "Listen, we are running a promotion today. If you buy ticket X for $5, we can get you the other tickets for around $250 total." The guy told me, "I don't want you to sell me anything that I don't want." I said, "Listen, I know you said you don't want this. If I sell this to you for $5, I have access to sell you the other tickets for $5 as well. If you don't want it, I can't give you that price." I said, "Listen, I don't care if you go or not to X. Do you want to pay $250 today or $700 today. He yelled at me and said, "I don't want anything that I don't need. Just give me my tickets. I don't want to buy X." "Alright, sir, that'll be $700. He reluctantly paid $700. About 30 minutes and a CVS receipt later, he comes back asking to talk to my manager. I call my general manager and he comes out and asks what the problem is. The guy said I overcharged him for tickets. My GM asked if I offered him attraction X, which gives them the better deal to the tickets. The smirk on my face when the guy has to look me in the eyes and say he refused ticket X because he didn't want it. And the look on the general manager's face when I laid out the conversation word for word in front of him. He could not deny that I tried helping him in every possible way. If I had to guess what happened after here, I would imagine that they were probably able to still get the promo deal since they hadn't been to the actual attraction yet. But that being said, OP sounded pretty honest and pretty clear that they were trying to get them a much better deal. Just because Ticket X isn't something that you want doesn't mean that you shouldn't hear them out. They're trying to cut you a deal. I guess just the reputation of people trying to sell you extra stuff is what kept getting stuck in this guy's head, and he let that cloud his judgment. Our next story is by an uncommon truth. Refund your overdraft fees? You got it, bud. I used to be an operations manager for a top 20 bank in the States. I've moved on, but for a while the job entailed speaking with customers who were very difficult. So we get this call center rep who escalated the call to me, and she's sobbing. This guy is beyond cruel. He has $140 in overdraft fees and 3 days rebated to him. He now has $70 more applied to the account today. This guy has been a customer a whopping 2 weeks, so no one's giving him any more money. Hence, he threatens to sue, so I get to talk to him. Now, I'm a sensible guy, and I'd like to believe a good person. Single mom? You're getting your fees back. Going through chemo? You're getting your fees back. Heck, if you're a broke college kid and you tell me you just need the money back so you can eat, you're getting your money back. But this dude was a miserable piece of garbage and absolutely brutal in his insults. He gets on the line and doesn't even bother with any pleasantries. So right off the bat, he claims he's taking us to court. I try to explain how it happened and he yells at me he doesn't care, he's not listening to me, and to give him his money. I explain we have already rebated 4 fees and that's more exceptions than we normally give, and we would not rebate further fees. He cuts me off and then proceeds to call me horrible, terrible gay slurs. I'm not gay, it was a weird way to go. Described me in multiple horrid sexual positions and explained in great detail how he was going to drill holes in my mother's head and have sex with them. Like, for real, over $70. So, real inappropriate, but hey, I aim to please. So I say I think we've gotten a bit off track and ask if I can hold to talk to my boss. This guy tells me to make it fast, he's getting on a plane soon. Cue malicious compliance. I pull the call record and email it to legal and corporate security, asking if this can be defined as a threat against an employee and grounds for shutting down an account. I knew the contact in legal and asked him to look at it right away. He says to zero out the account and he'll shut it down. So I get back on the line and say, "Sir, thank you so much for holding. After speaking with my colleagues, the bank is willing to make a final exception and rebate the fees as a final courtesy, giving you a $0 and 0 cent available balance in your account." He hangs up, I email legal and they shut down his account immediately. No checking account, no debit card, and no credit card. This guy got off a plane in Chicago expecting to put cash in his account at an ATM and seeing a direct deposit from his job, and found out he didn't even have a bank anymore. And even better, I got to read a follow-up comment from a CSR that said he called back in, and this was a business flight. His company didn't give him a credit card. He submitted daily expense reports and they reimbursed him, so he was truly stranded. Normally I want to try and give some kind of extra analysis to this, but this guy's kind of just doing all the wrong things. Opens an account, 2 weeks later has 4 overdrafts, gets them all rebated, complains about not getting another one rebated, says they're going to sue, threatens the people working there. There's so much they did wrong here that you can't really feel bad for them ending up stranded in Chicago. The next story is by Herp4Derp4. Even when you give Karen what she wants, she is still dissatisfied. So first off, I need to say that in my native language, vegan and vegetarian sounds very similar, important for the story. So our burger shop is popular due to our vast range of vegan/vegetarian burgers and the ability to customize everything, which sucks a lot. We get all sorts of ignorant wannabe vegans and "I wanted gluten-free but also a big pack of chili cheese" types of people, but this lady takes the price. So it's a late night and we're only about 5 people working in total, but there isn't too many customers so it's not too bad. I'm handling the kitchen solo and we got our rookie handling registers. He makes a few errors here and there but is handling himself pretty good. Until Karen arrives. Now, I don't hear her order, but after a minute or so her order comes up on my screen. 1 halloumi burger. No biggie, I make the burger and he serves her quickly and everything seemed fine. Until she returned. I don't have line of sight of the registers, but I can hear her screaming at the poor rookie, so I get over there quickly so rookie doesn't get left alone with an angry Karen. What seems to be the issue? I ordered a vegan halloumi burger, but look here, it has mayo on it. Now, if you don't know, halloumi is a type of cheese. Oh, I'm terribly sorry, rookie must have misheard you. But unfortunately, we cannot make the halloumi burger vegan, since halloumi is… cuts me off. I don't care, I've had it before and I want a vegan halloumi burger. Just remove everything that isn't vegan, you idiots. Now, I don't take kindly to being treated this way and usually I would have just thrown her out, but I saw an opportunity here. Sure thing, ma'am, I'll make it right away. But what she obviously didn't know is 1. Halloumi isn't vegan, and 2. The bread we use for it is brioche, which contains butter. So I grabbed the paper wrap for the halloumi burger, put some lettuce, onion, and tomatoes in there, and wrapped it up. I put on my best fake smile and gave her the obviously not burger-shaped burger to her and said, "Here you go, ma'am, 1 completely vegan halloumi burger." The look on her face when she unwrapped that mess of assorted vegetables will give me joy for many years. And of course, she started screaming again. Is this a freaking joke? What the F do you think you are doing? I want your manager now, you idiots. And like a summoned genie, my manager came over from the drive area to see what all the commotion was about. This idiot can't make a freaking vegan halloumi burger and tries to give me this stuff instead. I want my effing money back and I'm gonna report you all to corporate. Manager, cool as a cucumber, says, "Well, lady, this seems to be correct. Because last I checked, halloumi was a cheese and our bread contains butter. So would you like to change to one of our regular vegan burgers or are we done here?" Karen was fuming. We could have used the heat from her to grill our meat on. She did a full 180 and kept screaming on her way out. This is not over, you will pay for this. As soon as she was out of the door, we collectively lost our stuff, just laughing at that poor pile of lettuce, onions, and tomatoes. As far as I know, she hasn't come back and we still haven't paid. Honestly, after reading this story, the only thing that's on my mind right now is a halloumi burger. I guess that's what happens if you read stories while you're hungry. The next story is by Snow Pearl. Take your time, it's not like I'm in a rush or anything. Well, if you insist. The gym in my apartment building recently opened up again, though it's still empty for the most part. Before and after I use any machine, I aggressively spray disinfectant and wipe it down. I started noticing one woman who, for some reason, always waits to use the elliptical after I finish cleaning, even though there are 5 other identical machines in the gym that are available. It doesn't matter which elliptical I use, she hops on the minute I'm done cleaning. I know I'm being petty, but this annoyed me. It's not difficult to wipe down a machine. The gym specifically supplies disinfectant and paper towels. So the next time I noticed she was waiting for me to finish cleaning, I took my sweet butt time. It usually takes 1 to 2 minutes max, but I stretched it out to a good 10 minutes. periodically stop to check my messages, pick a new song from Spotify, get distracted by a bird flying past the window, etc. She finally got impatient and said sarcastically, "Take your time, it's not like I'm in a rush or anything." I smiled at her and replied cheerfully, "Thanks, I appreciate that." Pretty sure smoke was coming out of her ears as I resumed spraying and wiping every single nook and cranny on that darn elliptical while taking breaks when I felt like it. The one beauty of a pandemic is, in a lot of people's cases, they have the free time to do malicious compliance stuff like this where you needlessly stretch it out over a long period of time to annoy that person that annoys you. So quickly now, I just want to give you info on the giveaway. So if you want to be in with a chance to win $30 in Amazon gift cards, all you have to do is leave a comment pertaining to something you saw in the video on any video we upload this week, and I will pick a winner from a random video on Sunday night after the last video has gone out and announce it on next Monday's video. So feel free to comment on every video from the week to better your chances of winning. Again, I do want to stress that the comment has to be related to the video, so you can't just leave a random comment and expect to win. And whilst you're at it, why not like the video, because it helps more than you know. That being said, our final story of the day is by FoxyLady128. Improve your project or look for a new job? Okay, new job it is. This was a few years ago, with the worst boss I ever had who literally gave me my first gray hair in my 20s. Working on a project with a new client, and coworkers who were set in their ways and didn't understand the project needs, timeline, materials, or general purpose. I was getting frustrated that no one seemed to care, and my frustration was noticed by my boss. The only thing she ever noticed. So on our weekly catch-up, she said something to the effect of, "I think we need to find a way to work this out, or it may be time for you to find another position in the company." At that time, I was already actively searching for a new job. Challenge accepted. I reached out to a few coworkers in different departments, had an interview, and a job offer before our next weekly meeting. It was glorious to see the look on her face. I have a recording of the conversation on my phone somewhere, stating, "Last week you mentioned that I should look for a new job. Well, I found one. My last day with you is next week. I'm moving to X department with my friend." Her jaw dropped and she seemed appalled that I actually wanted to leave that heck hole of a department and boss. Literally danced down the hallway back to my office. I think this boss is pretty oblivious to their own terribleness. Now, that might be their ego or their narcissism showing up where, they always think they're right, or they try and downplay things in their mind and they try explaining it to you even though it doesn't resonate with you at all, like, "Oh, well, this situation isn't that bad," and the whole premise of the story, "If you don't like this, then you should find another job." I'm just glad OP was actually able to get out of there. But with that being said, that's all the time we have for today, so if you have a favorite story of the day, let me know which story and why in the comments down below. But besides that, if you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like and subscribe and turn notifications on if you haven't. All of those things help the channel out so incredibly much. So no matter what you did, whether it was commenting, liking, subscribing, thank you all so very much for supporting me right here on the Storytime channel. That said, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all next time right here.